Hey guys, welcome bent to the channel. If you are new here, I'm Toy, and well, this is the life. I was actually making some vegetarian chili soup. Well, actually, it's vegan because after I think about it, I'm not putting any cheese or anything that's dairy or any egg or anything of that nature. So vegan chili. And so in the process of making it, I said, well, I might as well take you guys with me. So if you're new here to this channel, I am Toy. As I mentioned, this is the life. So here we do family fun content. So I'm a mother of 3 children. I am a wife of almost 20 years. I am a first-time homeowner. I started my lock journey about a little over a year ago. I am a vegetarian and I'm a Jehovah's Witness. And so, yeah, that's a little bit about our channel. If any of those things interest you, stay tuned to this channel. Be loving all up on this channel. So the toddler is asleep. So I said this would be a perfect opportunity to show you guys how I make my vegan chili. So I did start a little bit, guys, but I'm just going to take you through the steps that I've already done. So guys, this is my Beyond Meat that I am, I guess, pan stirring up. I did burn it just a little bit, but it's okay. Once it hits those juices and liquids and the actual chili, it's going to be just fine. So I will show you guys the packaging of this Beyond Meat. I did put a few onions, chopped up onions in it, and I'm going to show you guys what I seasoned it with. Actually, while I just was sitting here like getting my phone together, like it cooked so quickly. But this is practically done. Usually I would cook a little bit more even, but the thing is about this, guys, is this is not, so it being a little burnt is not going to mess up the hero of the dish. If anything, it might even make it taste better because I really love burnt pieces. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to stop this though, because it's actually a little bit more burnt than what I thought. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. The meat is officially done. And I'm just going to push that back so you guys can have a closer look. Alright. Over here, I'm actually starting to put some onions and peppers inside the pan. So thus far, what I've done is just put some oil, some buttered flavor, non-stick spray. And yeah, I'm gonna season it once I get them all in. So this is a trick that my husband taught me, just to get these onions and peppers a little soft before just throwing them in the pot. It actually makes the process a little quicker and it makes them a little bit more flavorful. And I'm going to show you guys what I seasoned this meat up with. This is actually the type of package that I bought the Beyond Beef from. It's 100% vegan. I'm not going to go into the sodium and all that stuff. We already know this processed vegan meat does have high sodium factors, so that's why I won't be adding a lot of salt into this chili. This was approximately, I want to say about $6 and some change per, and I had to get 3 of them because it's going to be a pretty big pot. So I found it at Walmart. This is very easy to find, and it favors like just regular meat. So, you know, it's very like just cook it the way you would cook regular meat. So the seasons I used thus far in the meat was chili powder. I used some salt-free vegetable seasoning. I used some cumin. I don't know where I quite put that cumin at. Yeah, I'm not sure where I put that cumin at. And please don't be judging my sink. It's a lot going on. As I mentioned, I have a toddler. So he was munching at one point and then decided not to. Baby wipes up here. You know, the life of a parent. I put some garlic. And I also put some garlic and herb with dash and some pepper. Basically a lot of the main, you know, normal seasonings. The main seasoning I put was a lot of chili powder, and I didn't put a whole lot of cumin. And here's my cumin over here. I just use regular old plain cumin. So these are the seasonings I used thus far, guys. I'm going to finish completing putting my onions and my peppers inside of here. So how is you guys' day going? This part I really don't need to show. What I'm doing is like separating the onions, putting them in the pan. This pan is on extremely low, guys. I just really love these burnt pieces. I don't know why. I was like that before, prior to being a vegetarian, though. I always liked my meat overly well done. And honestly, I wasn't even a huge meat fan because most places didn't make it the way I like it. The only time I really ate chicken was when I made it myself. And when I made it myself, it was going to be crispy and very well done. Any redness, pinkness, it threw me off. But that's what I was saying. How's you guys' days going? My day, it's so-so. I think it'll be better once I eat this chili. It is a meat night for me. But in general, it's been a so-so day. I kind of feel blah. I didn't even feel like cooking, to be quite frank. And then my house is a mess. I haven't even done like any self-care today. So, it could be a better day, but it also could be a worse day too. So I'm not gonna complain. So I don't know if I ever shared with you guys the fact of why I went vegetarian. I believe I did, but it was like such a long video ago. But it was strictly for health purposes. I do love animals, but that was not. Some people go vegetarian or vegan for the animal cruelty portion of it. For me, it wasn't that so much. I definitely don't want to have to hurt an animal, but that wasn't a deciding factor of going vegetarian. It was basically because I was diagnosed with lupus, and so I was just doing my research of what I can do to have a healthier life. And I realized that I read a lot about being a vegetarian, being a vegan, things of that nature, and the changes it made in people's health. However, it didn't become real to me until I had my second daughter. When she was a baby, which now she is 9, and that's how long I've been a vegetarian, for 9 years. When I was pregnant with her and when I conceived her, no, that's not the right word. When I had her, delivered her, I had her on a strictly vegan diet. Something was just calling me to do that for her. I can't give you an answer why I chose to do that. I think maybe some family members may have played a role. I have a sister that is a vegan, not a vegetarian, but a vegan. And just, hearing what she was saying and, doing my own research, I started her off like that. And I literally could see the difference between her skin, her health, compared to the first daughter I had. So my first daughter, she stayed sick a lot as a toddler, and she broke out a lot as a newborn. And, I could just tell in my other daughter the difference it made depending on what I'm feeding them. So by looking at the but the difference, counteracting to how I raised one child and how I raised another, and the different health benefits that I saw, it inclined me to want to see those benefits for myself. I've always suffered with like breakouts and stuff because me having lupus, my skin has always had these when I'm having a flare up, it's always had these butterfly type looking rashes and stuff. And so I never had, in my opinion, nice skin. I always suffered with hair issues, and that wasn't, I don't think, because of the lupus. I think that was because of other stuff like hormone abnormalities. But and then I also struggled with weight, not necessarily being obese, but I struggled with the fact of fluctuating in weight sizes. So one year I could be petite, and then another year out of nowhere I would just gain all this weight. And I know that once again has something to do with my hormone imbalance. But, since I've been vegetarian, because it was one of those things where I said, I'm going to try it out. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't. I'm going to stop. Here we are 9 years later, so apparently it's working. I have not had a flare-up, or a real serious flare-up, ever since I'm vegetarian. But let's get back to the cooking. So, here's my peppers and my onions sizzling down there. And I'm also going to throw in some carrots. Guys, I'm going to rinse these carrots off. We'll be right back. So, somebody woke up. Say hi. Say hi. No. No hi. You guys will want. So it's not tender soft, but it's semi-soft. I don't want it tender soft. We still gotta marinate with the other stuff. So I'm gonna put in the rest of these things. As you can see, it's still a little bit of, just a tiny bit of oil still down there. It's not too much. I didn't put as much oil as I did the last time I made it. So it's more so just like a little bit of water. And I put the same seasonings as I did on the meat. So now I'm about to actually include black beans, red beans, and diced tomatoes and corn. Hence, everything I'm using will be canned, because who got time for all that? So, well, not everything, actually. The corn won't be canned. So, but everything is low sodium. So, as I mentioned, because the meat has enough sodium as is. And this is also what I'll be using. And I'm not draining it. So this is just a mixture of, as I mentioned, beans, black, kidney, corn. You guys already saw the onion, green peppers, and the carrots, and tomatoes. And a little bit of tomato paste as well in it. That's just basically what this is. Just a mixture of that. Alright guys, so this is the consistency it's given so far. Once again, I didn't drain the beans. Now, I did drain the kidney beans just a bit, but they had a lot of juice in the kidney beans. Now, to get this kind of consistency, I did have to add in a little bit of vegetable broth. Not too much though. Maybe about 1 cup of it. This is kind of the consistent we're going for, but it's going to stay like this for a while. The actual broth of it tastes really good. It's seasoned really well. It's just a matter of now just letting it simmer, everything completely cooked, so you have a softer texture. Depending on your preference, you can put that meat in now, but I'm gonna hold off and let this get a little bit more on the softer side. If you like it a little bit more loose, this is the consistency this is given. If you like it looser, I would say add in more vegetable broth. If you like it thicker, I would say add in a little cornstarch, but I do not like super thick soup, so I'm going to stick with this. Alright guys, so it is completely completed. So it is not a lot of juice in here, if I'm being honest. So if that's not the type of consistency you want, definitely add in some more vegetable broth. I don't know if I will or won't. We'll see. But otherwise, guys, tastes really good. All right. Well, ladies, gents, whoever, stay strong.